Part 9. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 81. After all, it was the day of the banquet, and the Ding family was very busy. Not only did he have to greet relatives and friends, but he also had to entertain guests from all walks of life. He didn't even have time to find money, so he couldn't think about Yang Yu. So all afternoon, Yang Yu visited the homes of several cotters in the village. Under the guidance of the enthusiastic elder sisters, she almost visited the entire village. It was almost time for dinner when she took a detour back home. Cleaning up has been completed in front of the Ding family and the guests have dispersed. Looking at the figures from a distance, everyone in the Ding family should be gathered in the front living room. Tao Ran did not go through the front door, but quietly walked through the chicken coop from the back garden and entered Ding's house through the back door. Then he heard the bickering coming from the front hall. As expected, suspicions came and went, and finally the few people focused on Jiao Jiao as the person who stole the money. While Ma Ding was yelling at Jiao Jiao, she was also complaining that her son always messed with that little bitch. Ding Yi complained that he had met Jiao Jiao yesterday at the entrance of the village, but he didn't even dare to say hello, so there was no provocation. Ding Xia said that Jiao Jiao did go upstairs to her room, and she did go downstairs to get some fruit for her, so she was not sure whether she entered her brother-in-law's room. Under Ding's mother's questioning, Ding Xia slapped her head. When Jiao Jiao gave me the red envelope, she seemed to have asked me how much money my brother and sister-in-law planned to give me this time. I told her it was 5,000, and I would give it to her after the banquet. Isn't this evidence? Ding Ma jumped up. What did I say? She got jealous, took away the money, made your brother and sister-in-law quarrel, and made you jealous of your sister-in-law. She wished she could get in on our family's troubles. You are still protecting her. Father Ding, who rarely speaks, slapped the table and pointed at brother and sister Ding Yi. I tell you to, if anyone dares to interact with that bitch again in the future, I will break your legs. Also, tell her if she dares to come to our house again, I will let Ah Huang bite her to death. Ding's mother sneered, that's all for later. Now, I have to get this money back no matter what. Mother Ding fixed her sights on her son. Go find her. Tell her, either you give her money or you and her never have any contact with each other forever. I want to see if that bitch recognizes her. If she still doesn't recognize her, we will go to the town to find her father tomorrow morning. Mom, I'm not going. Ding Yi hesitated. Even if Jiao Jiao really took the money, forget it. What? Do you still miss her? Do you still want to rekindle your old relationship with her? Mom, don't talk nonsense. Keep your voice down. What? Are you afraid that your wife will hear you? Your wife has stopped answering your calls and you don't know where she is wandering. My wife is not a good person either. You have to have a certain temperament when throwing away your face. You still haven't replied yet. Who do you see in your eyes? One day, she will have to use a stick to control her temper. Mom, it's inconvenient for me to find Jiao Jiao like this. What if Yang Yu finds out, and it's only a few thousand yuan? Bah! Just a few thousand yuan. Ding's mother was so angry that she almost breathed fire from her head, and swung the feather duster and threw it away. How much do you earn in a month? You are so generous. Our family can earn several thousand a year from farming. You are very generous to her. Why aren't you more generous to your mother? If I weren't afraid that this would cause your wife's crazy thoughts, I would have called the police to arrest that bitch. Your sister is so kind to her, but she is acting like a monster and she has done it to your sister. Does she have any humanity? She. Ding Ma was really angry and swung the feather duster out again. I can tell you, it's not just a matter of money, it's also the blessing of your nephew. Ding Xia. Are you angry that your family's blessing has been cut off and stolen like this? Ding Xia frowned, becoming more and more confused and suspicious as she thought about it. Qiao Qiao is indeed too suspicious. She left in a hurry without eating. Could it be because she stole money? I'm so angry. I also want to know if it's her. Brother, go find her and ask her clearly. Ding's mother, no, you two go together. This way there will be no inconvenience. You can go to her house to find someone or ask her out. You two can figure it out. Ding Yi, when it gets dark later you can just go, you hear me? As for your wife, she should be back soon. When she comes back, we will help you hide it. Ding Yi had no choice but to respond. Tao Ran secretly left from the back garden without even finishing listening. She wandered around. Hey. She seems to have some ideas. After finishing her plan, she just sent a message to Huang Yakin when Ding Yi called again. She didn't answer and hung up again. As night fell, Ding Yi and Ding Xia came to Qiao Qiao's house. The two of them originally planned to ask someone out, but considering that if Qiao Qiao didn't recognize them, so the Ding family thought it would be better to go to her house. If she really stole something, she would probably hide it in her room. When Ding Yi restrains Qiao Qiao, Ding Xia can search directly, as long as she finds the wad of new money with serial numbers or the golden lock with the child's name, Qiao Qiao will not run away. So Ding Xia took Ding Yi's cell phone and made an appointment with Qiao Qiao in his name. When Qiao Qiao saw that it was Ding Yi who was looking for her, she agreed. She also said that she would help take care of the family, and agreed to meet at 7 o'clock in the evening. In fact, Qiao Qiao's father and brother-in-law both work in factories in the town, so the one her family really has to pay for is her mother. It can be said that it is not difficult at all. No, Ding and Yi went straight into the house when they arrived at Qiao's house. Qiao Qiao, let me ask you, are you? Ding Xia couldn't help but question her when they met. Xioxia, let me ask, Ding Yi interrupted the girl. Stay outside. If anyone comes, block them out. If Mother Qiao comes back, shout a message. Ding Xia huffed and rolled her eyes at her brother. Hey, do you still need to protect your sweetheart's face at this time? I'll only give you a quarter of an hour. If you can't ask me why, I won't give you any face and I'll take action. Ding Xia gave a warning. Ding Yi ignored her, and while giving Qiao Qiao a wink, he also showed a hint of surprise. Qiao Qiao is so beautiful. Wearing a pink dress, her pink face and pink lips were exactly the same as when she took away his first kiss and hugged him and refused to let go. Even the affectionate eyes have not changed. Unlike Yang Yu, who knew that he liked pink, but said that the color was pretentious and never refused to wear pink clothes. With his first month's salary, he bought her a stick of rose pink lipstick, but she said it was the color of death and refused to put it on. Yang Yu had never looked at him with such extreme love as Qiao Qiao's. She had never begged him, hugged him from behind, and begged him. When he thought of Yang Yu, who was so troublesome, drove him away in the middle of the night, refused to give him face today, and kept hanging up on him to make him angry, Ding Yi became even more irritated. He felt that his wife was really nothing but rich. Unknowingly, Ding Yi's eyes looking at Qiao Qiao became a little softer. And Ding Xia looked at Qiao Qiao, who had deliberately dressed up, tightened her waist by more than an inch, deliberately missed 2 buttons, and still smelled fragrant, with a shy look on her face. She didn't like her at the moment. Sure enough, what Mom said was right, Qiao Qiao was a foxy and bitchy person who deliberately created conflicts between brother and sister-in-law, trying to exploit every opportunity. Thanks to Qinglian and Xiaoao for the reward, thank you. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 82. Ding Yizheng, who followed Qiao Qiao into the house, was thinking about how not to lose face and ask about money in embarrassment. But as soon as the door closed, he was hugged tightly by Qiao Qiao, who turned around suddenly, and then her lips were blocked by her. His head buzzed and he went blank for a moment. The sweet scent of Chiao Chiao's body penetrated his nose, reminding him vaguely of the sticky summer when they kissed and hugged each other. There was some burning emotion in his chest that was about to burst out. Just as Ding Yi's hand was about to hug him back involuntarily, he heard Ding Xia's cold voice coming from outside. Ding Yi. Don't forget that you are a married man and your son is already 2 years old. Why are you motivated? What is your goal of staying in the capital? Your wife is also here in the village. You must not. I sacrificed myself for a woman. Ding Xia thought about it and couldn't help but remind her. Of course she doesn't care whether her brother eats secretly, but she cares about money. Don't forget about the money once the beauty trap comes out. Chiao Chiao looks like a coquettish bitch. If my brother is greedy for her body, how can he have the confidence to ask for money? Is she Chiao Chiao? Is it worth the price? And if he really gets involved with Chiao Chiao again, it will ruin his long-term plan, and the gain will outweigh the loss. She and her husband will definitely take their children to the capital in the future. No one can stop her. No matter how bad Yang Yu is, it's still her thigh that she must hug. Indeed, Ding Xia's words were like a basin of cold water, pouring down all the heat and enthusiasm that had just risen from Ding Yi's body to his heart. No matter how much you like a beautiful woman, you can't compete with your future and money. He took his hands away from Chiao Chiao's waist and tried to push her away. But Chiao Chiao's hand tightened around him. Chiao Chiao gritted her teeth and secretly scolded Ding Xia for ruining her good deeds. Pooh! What kind of good friend is it? One day, she will let Ding Xia know what regret is. Chiao Chiao held Ding Yi tightly and wouldn't let go. Don't push me away, I like you, you know, I have only liked you in my life. I have liked you since I was 10 years old, and it has been 14 years. I haven't seen you for a few years, and I miss you so much. What about you? You just left when you said you wanted to, and I finally waited for you to come. Are you still going to push me away? Have you completely forgotten about me? I don't believe it. Being so close, Ding Yi felt condescending and could even see a lot of the beautiful scenery under Chiao Chiao's lower collar. He couldn't help but make excuses for himself. Indeed, he betrayed Chiao Chiao back then, and now he pushes her away without saying a word. Isn't it a bit too cruel? This beauty took the initiative to embrace her, so you can't blame him, right? If you don't refuse, it doesn't count as acceptance, right? Whether you miss me or not, I have to tell you that I love you. I only love you. And there is no one in the world who loves you more than me. Ding Yi had a hint of enjoyment on his face. He could only experience being worshipped by Chiao Chiao. It was then and it is now. She was the only one who told him since he was a child that he was the best in the world, and she was the only one who told him that none of those people could compare to him when he was ostracized in the town in middle school and high school. In college, he was even more inconspicuous. God knows it took him 3 years and what kind of scheming he expended to catch up with that woman. But his family still looked down upon him and tested him the first time they met. Let him get married after letting him lose face? This was the most hated, humiliating, and unacceptable thing in his life. Such humiliation kept him awake at night and clenched his fists many times. As Chiao Chiao said, maybe there is only one her in this world, and she will regard him as an existence of faith, right? Chiao Chiao, he really couldn't bear to push her away. What a nice girl. I have paid so much for him, but it is a pity. At this moment, he actually felt a bit of the hesitation of those ancient kings when they were choosing between beauties. Chiao Chiao, I know you are good, but... No, but Chiao Chiao, who was in his arms, swayed, it's my business to love you. You don't have to like me, but I will never let you go. I won't destroy your marriage, and I won't hinder it. I don't ask for anything in return for your future, I just want to be with you. Do you remember that summer? We were so happy. Chiao Chiao's eyes darkened, and she quietly unbuttoned her collar, then went up to swallow Ding Yi's lips again, and climbed up to his neck. Ding Yi, she is determined to win. She has been on blind dates too many times over the years. But no man can compare to Ding Yi, her first love. She really couldn't find anyone with better conditions than Ding Yi. After much thought, she was unwilling to accept it. So after Ding Xia told her that Ding Yi was going back to her hometown, she, who had been working in the town, came back a few days early. She still wanted to try again. Even if it's 3. They have an emotional foundation, so it shouldn't be difficult. She accompanied Ding Yi all the way. Why did Ding Yi succeed, but the fruit was snatched away by others? He was still snatched away by a bad woman. If that woman was Kinder, maybe she would still blame herself. But that woman is so mean. This makes her want revenge even more. So what if you get married? Doesn't it say in the TV series that the one who is not loved is the real third party? As long as she works hard, Ding Yi is still hers. Ding Xia said, Ding Yi still wants a child, but the woman refuses to give birth. City people just don't listen. She was willing to give birth to 2, 3, or even 5 children for Ding Yi. As long as she works hard enough, one day she will become the real Mrs. Ding. After a combination of several factors, she decided this afternoon that she must capture Ding Yi while he was in the village for a few days. As long as there is a chance, she will never let it go. For this reason, she deliberately sprayed herself with perfume to make him smell good. She deliberately left her long hair on his clothes, and she even deliberately left a string of lip prints on his white shirt. When he came home, if that woman saw it, it would be exciting to think about it. Isn't that woman very proud and powerful? Then don't swallow your anger, divorce him if you can. No matter what the outcome is, even if they just make a big fuss, she is happy to see it. Ding Yi didn't know what the woman in his arms was planning. He has long been in control of himself. Dazzled by the white spring scenery, he followed the woman in all his actions. As her thoughts flew, the young girl who had been sleeping with him in the rape field merged into one with the graceful girl in front of her, and his poor will suddenly disappeared without a trace. Unknowingly, the two of them couldn't help themselves. Ding Yi also took the initiative to respond to Chiao Chiao. 3 minutes later, there was a sudden bang on the door. The two people who were entangled in each other were so frightened that they jumped away from each other reflexively. The two of them looked over together and saw that the door had been kicked open. After seeing the person who walked in clearly, Ding Yi's legs went weak and he almost knelt down and called his mother. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 83. Ding Yi almost knelt down. How could the person who came, be Yang Yu? How did she know this place? How did she get here? Why did she come? What did she see? What did she know? How long has she been here? What would she do? Ding Yi's heart was pounding, and his whole body was dripping with sweat. On the other side, Yang Yu, who was holding her cell phone to take some real photos, also looked shocked and disappointed. That's it? After such a long time, the two of them are still fully clothed. She listened outside for several minutes, but there was no sound inside. She thought she had at least taken off her clothes and belt. Fortunately, she turned on the video on her phone. Tao Ran looked at his phone and was also disappointed. I didn't capture anything useful, it was very blurry. Useless. Mobile phones from the past few years not only have low pixels, but also lack anti-shake, so they are really useless. But it doesn't matter, she didn't come here just to catch the bag. Her goal can still be achieved. Ding Yi didn't know whether to smile bitterly or beg for mercy. His face twitched and he shouted, Yu, it's not what you think it is. He sulked. Where is Ding Xia? Aren't you keeping watch outside? Why did you let Yang Yu in so quietly? How come you don't know how to report the news? Is she dead? The next moment, Ding Xia, who was being muttered by Ding Yi, also rushed in. Sister-in-law. Why are you here? Ding Xia looked no less shocked than Ding Yi. And following Ding Xia, another one came. It turned out to be Huang Yakan, the village chief's wife. Oh my god, Huang Yakan was almost shocked. What the hell, I didn't even see it. Several people present were married. Looking at the red-faced two people who were hurriedly arranging their clothes, they naturally understood the situation. What a shameful pair of things, Huang Yakan cursed bitterly. I misunderstood auntie, Qiao Qiao quickly explained. Bah! Misunderstanding, Huang Yakan wanted to go up and slap this girl to death. She first pointed at Qiao Qiao's mouth, most of your lipstick has been eaten. She pointed at Qiao Qiao's chest again. Your buttons are also out of place. Qiao Qiao, who was busy wiping his mouth, lowered his head and realized that he had unbuttoned the button in his panic. It happened that the part that was crotchet happened to be on the chest, so that a lot of the good flesh on the chest was also exposed. Ding Yi's blush faded away, his face turned pale and he spoke incoherently. Qiao Qiao covered her face and shook her head. She hopes that Yang Yu will find out that her husband is not really in love with her, but she doesn't want to be caught in the act. What's even more unjust is that they did nothing. But, how to prove it? More than an hour ago, Taoran went to the village chief's house for dinner. After the meal, Huang Yakan was dragged out by her, and she called it a walk. At noon, Taoran guessed that the Ding family would definitely force Ding Yi to ask Qiao Qiao for money, so she had already thought of blocking the two of them. In the afternoon, she found out the location of every family in the village, including Qiao Qiao's family, by visiting various places. Later, when I went home, I accidentally confirmed that Ding Yi would take action. She guessed that the two of them could only meet at night, so during their walk, she took Huang Yakanjing to wander around the hillside near Qiao Qiao's house. After walking around for 2 times, Huang Yakan knew it in her mind. She crossed her arms and asked her, "So are you just waiting for something to happen?" Ang Taoran admitted readily. "They won't do it. Your efforts are in vain." "Not necessarily. You heard at noon that my family lost money, and everyone in the Ding family now suspects that it is Qiao Qiao. So, Ding Yi will come to inquire, and I'm afraid that he will cover up." "Are you afraid that he will fall into a trap?" Huang Yakan was not stupid and couldn't help but laugh. "What are you trying to do with me? A shield? A talisman? Or a witness? Help you find a place?" Taoran went up and took Huang Yakan's arm and raised his eyebrows. "Can't it be all? In addition to the few things you said, I also want you to help me cover up. In one sentence, do you want to do it?" Mock up. For most of the day, the two of them had become very familiar with each other. Taoran has a good personality, cheerful but not squeamish, and Huang Yakan likes her very much. Her old lay also approved of this girl. Not only that, even her twin daughter who was in the rebellious stage was able to chat with Yang Yu and praised her profusely. She called her aunt and wished she could go to the capital with her. Huang Yakan's second-year high school son in the town was determined to go to Beijing, so she asked Yang Yu about the school in Beijing today. As a result, Yang Yu was very enthusiastic and told her everything she knew without saying a word. Agreed to help collect school information. In addition, she also seriously invited them to visit the capital again during the summer vacation. She said that she would take them to visit the 2 best universities in Beijing and Qingbei. She even left her home phone address. They saw Yang Yu's sincerity, and it was much better than Ding Yike, who kept silent about making a fortune but showed no sign of it. Now that Yang Yu has a request, Huang Yakin is actually very willing to help. What's more, if Xiao's behavior is inappropriate, it will indeed tarnish the atmosphere of their village. As the representative of the Women's Federation of several villages, she can really control this matter. In this way, after seeing the Dingyi brothers and sisters appearing from a distance and heading towards Xiao's house, the two of them followed. Originally, the two of them planned to wait for a while and then go into Xiao's house together. Only a minute later, Ding Xia was seen dragging a bench and sitting at the gate, eating melon seeds. Now, even Huang Yakin was not calm anymore. It was easy to talk things over when the brother and sister came into the house together to talk. In this scene, it was clear that there was no one in the Xiao family, and then Ding Yi and Xiao were alone inside. Ding Xia is sitting outside. What is this if she isn't watching the wind? What good things can come out of this? Huang Yakin glanced at Yang Yu, who had a cold face. Sister, don't worry. Whatever you want, I will listen to you. I said before, you help me cover. 5 minutes later, Huang Yakin deliberately passed by the entrance of the courtyard, saw Ding Xia, and waved to her. When Ding Xia saw that she was the leader's wife, she quickly ran over. There seems to be some problem with the consumption of my mobile phone. Come and help me check. Do I need to pay for labor? Huang Yakin took Ding Xia and sat under a big tree 30 meters away. Are you in arrears? I don't know how to check. You can ask for me. What's the phone number? How much is 1008? Sister, it's 86. You fight, you ask for me. Okay. Sister, you can eat melon seeds. Thanks for meeting you. Sit down. You've eaten too much, let's digest it. While standing, Huang Yakin just stood in front of Ding Xia, blocking all her sight. It was at this time that Tao Ran sneaked into Xiao's house while Ding Xia was using her cell phone. There was only one window in Xiao's house with a light on, so she used the light to find Xiao's room. The conditions of Xiao's family are average. The house is very old, and the handle on Xiao's door is also a rusty old model. Tao Ran went up to feel it, and the handle was a little shaky. She felt that she didn't need to find a tool, she was fully capable of kicking it away. When she heard that there was no movement at all, she turned on her mobile phone to record video, then kicked the door with all her strength and rushed in. Of course she wasn't here to catch someone raping. What's the use of catching it? It was Yang Yu's face that was shameful, and Yang Yu's eyes that were dirty. If he caught a one-night stand, even going to court would not make Ding Yi clean up and leave the house. Therefore, Tao Ran had other plans. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 84. Tao Ran wants to gain a moral high ground for himself. She had a sullen face and looked coldly at the two people who were busy arranging their coats. Sister Huang, you saw it too. This is my man, she sneered. While I'm not at home, I came out and ate it secretly. No, I didn't. Ding Yi immediately raised his finger and swore to the sky. I absolutely didn't. I swear. When Ding Xia saw that most of Xiao's bright pink lipstick had been eaten, she scolded her brother for being useless. While glaring at the two of them, she hugged Yang Yu. Sister-in-law, misunderstandings are all misunderstandings. My brother is here to ask questions about Xiao. Question? What to ask? That's it, it's the money and gold. Where? I suspect it was Xiao who did it, so I came to ask. What? Xiao suddenly shuddered and took several steps forward. Ding Xia, what did you say? What about money and gold? What happened to me? Why do you doubt me? Tao Ran sneered instantly, but pushed Ding Xia away with his backhand. Dear Ding Xia, you helped your brother have an affair with this woman without telling her, and you even helped her lie in front of me. These three people don't even know what money is. It shows that your brother never mentioned this matter at all. Do you think I am easy to deceive? Ding Xia, I must have misjudged you. I always thought you were good, and I wanted to find you a job and leave you my old house to live in. I didn't expect you to be such a person. God knows that at this moment, Ding Xia feels like a dog is beeping in her heart. What the hell? She is innocent. None of her business. She tried her best to maintain the marriage between her brother and sister-in-law, but why did she look like Zhu Beiji in the mirror and no longer a human being inside and outside? Because of this couple, her job, her house, her future, and her son's status as a city dweller are all gone. At this moment, Ding Xia was so angry that she swung the broom by the door and threw the dog man and woman out. Are you so humming mute? You can just talk. It's none of my business. Mad. Ding Yi is this useless thing. For more than 10 minutes, they just kissed and hugged each other in the room, right? Haven't gotten into the topic yet? What about the matter of several $1,000s? You haven't mentioned it yet? Dare to love her, this girl is worthless, only his little lover is the treasure? Thousands of dollars are nothing to Ding Yi, but she went to work in a factory in the town and could not save more than $5,000 in a year. Now that Yang Yu is taking his anger out on her, how can she benefit from this sister-in-law in the future? Do you really want to work in the factory until you die? Do you want to stay in this shabby village forever? The more Ding Xia thought about it, the angrier she became. Years of hard work were about to be in vain, and all hope might be shattered. When the resentment arose, she could not care about the friendship that had been a good friend for more than 10 years, and she swung the broom at Jiao Jiao one after another. You little bitch, you steal things, cause trouble, seduce people, and provoke others. Why are you so bad? You deserve to be beaten to death. Jiao Jiao is not a weak person. Now Yang Yu didn't get angry, but Ding Xia came up and beat and scolded her inexplicably. Her anger also rose, she grabbed the broom with her backhand, went up and kicked Ding Xia. Ding Xia saw that she was wrong and dared to fight back, and she refused to give up. The two of them struggled together. In this way, it was clearly a capture scene, but it somehow turned into an internal fight among the cheating party's own people. Tao Ran flicked his hair, and the corners of his lips twitched almost imperceptibly. Although the enemy is outnumbered, as long as she knows how to use the war situation, she can recruit troops at any time, right? Look, by talking, you won't waste your energy or dirty your hands, and you can also watch the dog-eat-dog trick. How nice! Huang Yakin shouted to stop, but after being pulled by Yang Yu, her voice was only heard but her actions were not seen. Ding Yi, on the other hand, saw that his sister and his first love were fighting, so he had to let go of the explanation and quickly started to break up the fight. When Tao Ran saw this, he immediately grabbed the iron pot on the table and said, "Dear you, Ding Yi. How dare you help your old sweetheart after being caught?" The big iron pot flew hard towards Ding Yi's head. What a joke. The fight scene had just begun, and she hadn't finished watching it yet. How could she let the scumbag stop it? There was a muffled sound, and Ding Yi was hit with stars in his eyes, and a pot of herbal tea was poured on him, making him feel cold all over. He had a severe headache. He touched it and found that his scalp was broken and bleeding. His relatively gentle wife actually took action? Unacceptable. But when he raised his eyes and looked at Yang Yu, his eyes were like a cold pool, which made him frightened. He suddenly woke up. He no longer cared about the two women or the injury on his head. He thought for a moment and ran to Yang Yu's side. If there were no outsiders, he would have knelt down. "Xiao Yu, you have to believe me. I didn't do anything. Qiao Qiao and I just talked. Do you think I'm blind or mentally retarded?" Tao Ran hugged his chest. "In this weather of more than 10 degrees, do you need to unbutton your clothes to talk? There is still lipstick on your mouth, neck, and shirt. It's pink. It's gaudy. She avoided Ding Yi's grasping hand and grabbed a mirror frame on the table with her backhand. Ding Yi, are you worthy of me? That's a photo. Two green faces. It's a photo of Ding Yi and Xiao Xiao's face together many years ago. No, this is all in the past, it doesn't mean anything. Ding Yi frowned, grabbed it, and began to take apart the frame. I'm going to tear this photo up right now. Ding Xia, who was struggling, also looked over. Ding Xia grinds her teeth. She came to Xiao Xiao's room every 3 days and had never put up such photos in a grand manner. This thing was clearly put out for hooking up today. Xiao Xiao, this bitch. She couldn't help but kicked him out again. Seeing Ding Yi tearing up the photo, Xiao Xiao became excited. She rushed out without hesitation. Ding Xiao's kick came as promised. Xiao Xiao fell into a trap, and Ding Xia pounced from behind, and the two fought again. Ding Yi tore up the photo 3 times. He was determined and put the overall situation first. He pointed at Xiao Xiao. I came to her to ask for money. But when she came up, she hugged me and kissed me. I swear, I have never done anything sorry to you. I have never had feelings for this woman. You, how can you trust me? Don't you still know who I am? Can I like a woman like this, a woman with no bottom line? Ding Yi felt Xiao Xiao's resentful eyes, but he resisted and didn't look at her. Such a woman is not even worthy of carrying your shoes. You don't need to take her seriously. How can I care about her now that I have you? Ding Yi, Ding Yi. How could you say that to me? Xiao Xiao's self-esteem was hurt. These words actually came from the mouth of the man she loved. She caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror on the table, looking unkempt and disheveled, in stark contrast to Yang Yu, who had a good temperament on her side. Ding Xia sneered behind her, which made Xiao Xiao full of resentment and anger, and put the blame on Ding Xia. She could have succeeded. As long as Ding Xia keeps an eye on the door. But how did Yang Yu come in? Why didn't Ding Xia report the news? Ding Xia is clearly Yang Yu's lackey, maybe she is the one who found Yang Yu. What kind of friend is she? She is jealous of herself and is afraid that she will live a better life than her. Seeing how Ding Xia keeps fawning over Yang Yu, maybe Ding Xia gets some other benefits from Yang Yu. After thinking about this, Xiao Xiao instantly hated Ding Xia. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 85. As soon as Xiao Xiao became angry, she quickly counterattacked Ding Xia with her strong strength, pinned Ding Xia firmly under her, and then hit her hard. For a moment, Ding Xia was unable to fight back. It's not that Ding Xia can't beat Xiao Xiao, but that she just gave birth to a child 2 months ago and her body has not recovered, so she can't compare with Xiao Xiao who has been working in the factory. Ding Xia suffered a big loss. His face was broken in several places, his neck was scratched, and a handful of hair fell out. Brother, Ding Xia shouted angrily. Don't say she's sister-in-law, even I can't believe you. I'm your biological sister, and I was beaten like this by Xiao Xiao, and you didn't help me. Didn't you see that I was hurt? If you didn't help me, you and Xiao Xiao, what a coincidence. Ding Yi almost died of irritation after hearing this. He was put on fire, what else could he do? In order to show his attitude to Yang Yu, he immediately went up and dragged Xiao Xiao up, gritted his teeth and pushed the person out hard. With a muffled dong sound, Xiao Xiao was thrown away and hit the wall directly. What hurts more than her head is her heart. This man was so cold, he didn't hesitate when he took action, and there was no trace of distress in his eyes. But Ding Yi actually pointed at her, let me tell you, if you dare to harass me and my family again, I will not show mercy. Xiao Xiao burst into tears. Tao Ran clicked his tongue secretly. As expected, this man has no feelings and only has interests in his eyes. With support, Ding Xia rushed forward again and gave Xiao Xiao a slap in the face. Chiao, today is a good day for me and a good day for my family, but what did you do to me? From now on, we will be inseparable. If you appear within 3 feet of my door again, I will throw shit at you. If you break it off, it's time to break it off. You are a despicable villain who is always following the trend of others. I feel disgusted to be friends with someone like you. You're such a delusional person that you still come to tell me how disgusting you are. Yang Yu is the mistress. Your brother and I are a couple. Don't scold my sister-in-law. Ding Xia was anxious to show off in front of Yang Yu and slapped her again. Are you delusional? It just so happens that while Aunt Huang is here, she can be a witness. Chiao, hurry up and take out the money and gold where you stole from my house. Your whole family is delusional. Who took your family's money and gold? Huang Yakan didn't mind watching the excitement and said, it's not a mistake, is it? Ding Xia quickly explained the reason, and then told the Ding family that they had searched it all over, and Chiao was the only person who had been to the second floor of the Ding family this morning, twice. Huang Yakan also thought of Chiao's embarrassment to Yang Yu at noon, and immediately believed it. She warned Chiao that if she took money or property, she should quickly acknowledge it. Otherwise, it would be ugly to call the police. I didn't. You lost the money and you said I took it? I still suspect that you are calling me catch a thief and you deliberately wronged me. When Ding Xia heard this, she became angry again. She rolled up her sleeves and was about to go up and beat someone, but was stopped by her left and right sides. It turns out that since the commotion started in this house, the neighbors have been alerted, because the door has not been closed, so by now, many people eating melon seeds and watching the fun have gathered in the house in the courtyard. Some people came early and listened. At this moment, everyone was pointing and talking. Ding Yi felt that he had never been so embarrassed in his life. He had always dreamed of being a master, but when he saw Chiao, there was a hint of resentment in his eyes. Chiao also hates her for stealing money. This is obviously a frame-up. I told you I didn't steal it. It wasn't me. It must have been her. Chiao pointed at Yang Yu. She took the money because she had a grudge against me. Not Yang Yu. This time, Ding Yi, Ding Xia, and Huang Yakan spoke at the same time. Ding Yi, after you bullied Yang Yu at noon, she never left everyone's side. At that time, her pockets were all turned out and she didn't have a penny. She had no chance to retaliate against you. Your suspicions are not at all invalid. Chiao, brother Yi, please wake up. There must be something wrong with this. Think about it, why did Yang Yu come to my house? She came well prepared. Yang Yu smiled, I did come prepared. I heard that you two were old friends at noon, and I guessed that the lost money might be related to you. So I planned to ask Sister Huang to accompany me to ask you. As a result, when we got to the top of the mountain, we saw brother and sister Ding Yi coming. You are alone in a room with Ding Xia watching the wind. In this case, which woman is not allowed to come in and see what you are doing? How is this my way of retaliating against you? As soon as these words came out, 7 ants and 8 ants behind him all responded. A man who steals food is already extremely hateful. Are you going to die under your wife's nose? These 3 are so arrogant that they actually have the nerve to beat up their original wife. It's really ridiculous. Everyone's position is one-sided. I didn't expect it. I really thought Ding Yi was going to be successful, but who knew that he looks like a dog and is not a thing? My wife is so beautiful and she secretly eats it. Sure enough, the shit outside smells good. It's really because of Ding Yi that Chiao doesn't marry now. Shouldn't these 2 people have been inseparable over the years? That's really shameless. After all, we already have children. It must be. Otherwise, why would Chiao be so jealous today and bully his first wife in public? These 2 are a perfect match, and they are addicted to stealing. One steals people and the other steals money. The constant insults will inevitably reach the ears of the person concerned. Chiao Chiao, don't talk nonsense. This is a rumor. Ding Yi, you are talking nonsense, be careful, I will sue you. The crowd roared with laughter. These two really have a tacit understanding. Sue. This is a village, not a city. Everyone trusts their own eyes and ears, and everyone has their own judgment. Who are you trying to scare? That's right. In the past, it would have been sent to the ancestral hall. I heard that in some places, pig cages were even soaked. Garbage. Chiao Chiao was so angry that she couldn't argue clearly, and was so anxious that she cried. Ding Xia felt emboldened now and grabbed Chiao Chiao's collar. I'm telling you, either you pay me back or we call the police. It's up to you. You have no evidence, why should you accuse me unjustly? Huang Yakin stepped forward appropriately. Okay, Ding Yi is actually right. There is no evidence, so we can't accuse them unjustly. Everyone, please calm down. Why is there no evidence? Yang Yu, who had not spoken for a long time, breathed heavily. Where did this come from? Yang Yu picked up 2 lipsticks and a set of skincare products on the dressing table. Chiao Chiao glanced at Ding Xia, feeling a little guilty. Ding Xia's expression changed and she shook her head calmly. She secretly gave these things to Chiao Chiao. If Yang Yu knew about it, he would have to think that they were in the same group, right? Then she couldn't explain it even more clearly in front of Yang Yu. Ding Yi looked at the familiar cosmetics and immediately reacted, panicking in his heart. He also gave Chiao Chiao a warning look. It's all my stuff, it's none of your business. Chiao Chiao didn't want to cause trouble, for fear of causing people to have wild imaginations, and she didn't want to make Ding Yi unhappy, so naturally she could only deny it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 86. Tao Ran had already guessed that Chiao Chiao did not dare and would not admit that he was using the things she and Ding Yi bought. Did you buy it? Where did you buy it? How much did it cost? Can I see the invoice? I bought it in the town. I bought it last year, and the invoice was thrown away long ago. Are you responsible for my things? Chiao Chiao could only argue. You're lying. This brand only has a few stores in the country. It's not sold in this town at all. The lipsticks are all out of stock, and you may not be able to buy them even if you go to the provincial capital. Can't I have a little sister? Can't the little sister in my town buy it for me? Chiao Chiao's confidence was gradually weakening. You probably can't read the production date in English, right? The production date on this batch of lipsticks is clearly written 2 months ago. How did you buy it last year? Did you buy it through time travel? Chiao Chiao was stunned and couldn't argue for a moment. This lipstick costs almost 200 yuan, and the cosmetics on the table cost at least 700 to 800 yuan. Do you have enough spending power? Where do you get the money? The implication is that it was also stolen? Otherwise, it was given by Ding Yi? Also, this batch number is the same as the one I bought. Do you want me to compare mine with yours to see if they are the same batch? Chiao Chiao fainted. I came to the countryside this time and bought 6 tubes of this series of lipsticks, and I still have the invoices. If it is confirmed that your lipstick is from the same batch as mine, can it be considered that you stole my lipstick? Tao Ran handed the lipstick to Huang Yakin, indicating that she would compare it later, and pointed to the brooch pinned to Chiao Chiao's lapel. I also have an invoice for this. I bought it at Sunshine Mall in Beijing. Why is it on you? It was also stolen? Sister Huang, can you please ask someone to go and get my bag? I didn't steal it, Seeing that Tao Ran was really trying to compare, Xiao Xiao couldn't stand it any longer. These were all given to me by Ding Xia, what else should I do? If this was a comparison, I would be able to jump into the Yellow River and not be able to clean myself. Cosmetics and brooches are all gifts given to me by Ding Xia and Ding Yi. I didn't. Don't talk nonsense, Ding Yi shuddered, startled, and quickly denied it. Tao Ran cast his faint gaze on Ding Xia again. Why did you give cosmetics to Xiao Xiao? Did you deliberately dress her up to be a cuckold to me? No, 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 no. Ding Xia made her choice almost instantly. The fight just now had shattered the friendship of more than 10 years into pieces. Now faced with the precarious relationship between sister-in-law and sister-in-law, do we still have to choose? Sister-in-law. She lied. I never gave her cosmetics. I don't know how these things got to her. You are right. This is the evidence that Xiao Xiao stole things. She must have stolen them after she went upstairs. Your money and these things were stolen, Ding Xia said firmly. And here is Tao Ran's aggressive purpose. She couldn't help but raise the corners of her lips. Now, the evidence of theft is absolutely conclusive. Everyone cursed at Xiao Xiao. Ding Xia, are you still a human? Xiao Xiao roared, baring his teeth and claws. Explain it to me clearly. She rushed towards Ding Xia, but was blocked by Ding Yi. Sister-in-law, you just saw that I am standing by your side the whole time. Ding Xia's stance became firm, and her whole person became more decisive. Xiao Xiao, you steal things, and both the people and others get the stolen goods. So hurry up and take out all my money and goldware. Without. Then I'll do it myself. Ding Xia started rummaging. She has long wanted to take action. Stop. Don't go through my things, Xiao Xiao cried, but no one sympathized with her. Even Ding Yi didn't look at her. On the other side, Huang Yakin took the phone and found Father Xiao's number, planning to ask him to find a way to come back as soon as possible. No, don't look for my dad. Xiao Xiao rushed to Huang Yakin and begged again. Aunt Huang, I beg you. Don't look for my father. Xiao Xiao is afraid of her father. The last time she was seeking a life for Ding Yi, her father tied her up, beat her, and locked her up for a long time. Her father had said at that time that if she still dared to pursue Ding Yi, he would give up her legs and marry her off to that ugly old bachelor in the village who drooled at the sight of women. Huang Yakin brushed her hand away with a look of disgust. At this time, can you still hide it? Half the village is here. What you have to do now is not to hide anything, but to be honest and lenient while asking for forgiveness from Ding Xia and Yang Yu. You stole people and things. And Huang. There is no such thing as stealing. Ding Yi's face turned dark when he heard this. Slip of the tongue. Huang Yakin naturally said that on purpose. Bah, you scumbag. Xiao Xiao, you are suspected of stealing people and property, and everyone knows this. You have to explain to the Ding family and Yang Yu that your father is the head of this family, and we must inform him. At this time, many people came outside. Village Chief Lei, the entire Ding family, and Mother Qiao, who was rushing back from a visit, all arrived. Qiao's mother saw that the 3 floors of the house were full of people. She heard Huang Yakin's last sentence of stealing people and stealing things. Then she saw that her daughter was wearing a cool skirt on this cold night, and her face was painted like a ghost. There is a seductive fragrance about her, but she still doesn't know her daughter's dirty thoughts. At this moment, she also concluded that her daughter had done something shameless, so she rushed up and slapped her daughter hard on the head twice. There have never been so many people in the house when my son got married. It's so embarrassing and the family is so unfortunate. From now on, where will this leave the couple, their son, daughter-in-law, and grandson's face? She even considered strangling her daughter to death. Out of anger and resentment, she took scissors and tried to twist her daughter's hair, while Xiao Xiao started rolling around and screaming. For a moment, the room was in chaos. As soon as village chief Lei entered the house, Taoran greeted him. "Village chief, I am a foreigner. I have no relatives or anyone I trust in this village. Now I have been doubly wronged. The only thing I can rely on is you, the head of the village, and your rationale. You will definitely stand by from a fair, just and open standpoint. We should deal with it impartially, treat everyone equally, and not be partial, right?" Taoran's words were resounding. Only then did everyone remember to come and watch the fun, and they all forgot about the suffering owner's situation. Being in a foreign land, being betrayed by others, losing people and property, what a pitiful grievance. For a time, everyone comforted, supported, lamented, and most of them felt sorry for her. "Don't worry, Miss Yang, the village chief is not a partial person. Although our village is not as good as the capital, we understand everything in the same way. Village Chief Lei, since this happened in our village, as the village chief, I will definitely find out about this matter and give an explanation to Miss Yang." Ding Yi was beside him, dizzy with anger. Before, everyone called Yang Yu Ding Yi's wife, but now it's better. Why do they all change to call her Miss Yang? How? Are you sure they are getting divorced? There is another update today. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 87. After Taoran got the village chief's consent, he stopped Ding's mother again. "Did you say today that as long as you are here, you will definitely help me? As long as Ding Yi bullies me, you will make the decision for me and help me vent my anger." She had a cold demeanor, a strange, cold aura that kept strangers away, making Ding's mother extremely flustered. "He bullied me and did shameful things in front of me. What do you say? Daughter-in-law, don't worry. Mom will make the decision for you." Even if Yang Yu didn't mention it, Ding's mother would want to beat the traitor to death. Despite all her warnings before, the traitor still failed to pass the level of little goblin. Isn't it a woman? What could be better than money? In Ding's mother's eyes, her son's luckiest thing in his life was meeting Yang Yu. At that time, his family supported him in pursuing Yang Yu with all his efforts, because they knew that Yang Yu's parents had a good workplace, the family had a house, a car, savings, and status, and he was from the capital. He thought that if he and Yang Yu got married, they could at least find a way to get a Beijing household registration and get a job. From then on, his son would make a lot of money and do big things, become the first Beijing native in the village, and lead the whole family to a prosperous career. Unexpectedly, their luck was better than they imagined. The Yang Yu family was much better off than they thought. There is even a courtyard house and many antiques. At that time, Ding's mother asked someone about it, and they told her that, among other things, just one courtyard house could be exchanged for many sets of commercial housing in the capital. She made a special trip to the capital to see it in person. Then she told her son that he had to endure no matter how many grievances he had. What does it mean to be a wife? In order to get those properties, it would not be difficult for her family to change their surnames. It's not like you can't change it in the future, right? Just wait until you are done eating and wiping yourself clean before coming back to acknowledge your ancestors and return to your clan. They are not disrespecting their ancestors, but they are honoring their ancestors in the true sense and making a lot of money for their descendants. What happened to Chijui? That's what they are capable of. Can the Yang family jump out of the coffin and stop them? If the Yang family is captured, the wealth will be enough for the next 3 or 5 generations of their Lao Ding family to enjoy with their eyes closed. Every night, Mother Ding dreamed of selling her courtyard house, buying a large villa, hiring a few servants to beat her legs and backs, and just lying around eating and drinking like the old Buddha on TV. By then, what would his son do to Yang Yu? How do you want to get back the sins you have suffered over the years? How many women do you want? If he wants to have a harem, she won't stop him. but now, it's taken them more than 4 years to get the Yang family's approval. Life at home was just getting better, how could he not be able to control it? Useless stuff. For the sake of a poor bitch, if her wife runs away and her good life is gone, she won't want to live anymore. When Mother Ding thought about it for a moment, her heart ached with pain. Without saying a word, she picked up the big bamboo broom in the yard and whipped it directly at her son. It's a real fight? As soon as Ding Yi blocked it, he was hit by several marks. Before he could stop, explain, or beg for mercy, Mother Ding swung down another broom. Mother Ding had only one thought in her mind: she must beat the brat to death. The kid must know the pain and wake up quickly. Yang Yu must be calmed down. You have to make Yang Yu feel distressed. Yang Yu is a conservative person, and the Yang family is all about saving face. Can they still get a divorce? As long as Yang Yu can forgive, this matter can be over. So, Ding's mother secretly glanced at Yang Yu, waiting for her face to show distress, waiting for her to be embarrassed and shout to stop, while beating her son hard. Father Ding understood what his wife was thinking, and he also took the clothes-drying fork and swung it at his son. The couple also warned everyone not to start a fight, otherwise the stick has no eyes and they will not be held responsible. Everyone rolled their eyes. It's best to just watch a show. As a result, Qiao Qiao was beaten inside the house, and Ding Yi was beaten outside the house, and both of them screamed. Ding Xia was busy looking inside and out of Qiao's house, wishing she could turn Qiao's house upside down. The crowd was busy chatting and eating melon seeds. The atmosphere was even hotter than the Spring Festival Gala. Tao Ran crossed his arms and watched indifferently. Seeing the scumbag running around in the courtyard and being beaten to death by his parents, Tao Ran finally dissipated a lot of the resentment he had accumulated in his chest because of Yang Yu's incident in the past 2 days. Fight. If she could be beaten to death like this, her mission would have been accomplished. She has to help Yang Yu get revenge, which is easy or not. Ding Yi's death was not a pity, but in a society ruled by law, he had done nothing. How could she make him pay the price he deserved? He had harmed Yang Yu and his family, so it would be easier for him to pay with his life, right? After thinking about this, Tao Ran gritted his teeth again. Mother Ding did not expect that her hands were sore from the beating, her throat was hoarse, her son had many scratches on his body, tears and runny nose came out, and his legs were limping, but his wife still did not shout to stop. She began to feel sorry for her son. Mother Ding had no choice but to slap her thigh and sit on the ground, crying and complaining about her misery. He secretly looked at Yang Yu, but his wife remained calm. Ding Yi ran over, held his mother in arms and cried, but Yang Yu remained indifferent. Mother Ding pushed her son away, climbed up and shouted sorry to Yang Yu, saying she didn't want to live, and then hit the wall. Ding Xia and Ding Yi, who were startled and rushed towards her, grabbed her from the left and the right. Father Ding hugged her waist from behind. As he watched, the old woman's legs kicked up in mid-air like a tricycle. However, this action was too laborious. After a dozen times, the exhausted people had no choice but to change their methods. Then, Ding Xia and Ding Yi knelt down and hugged her legs, howling and begging, and the family of 4 worked hard to act out the drama of love. She cries, makes trouble, and hangs herself, a typical shrew drama. The 4 of them acted so lively and forgetful, but ended awkwardly and suddenly. Okay. Everyone is leaving. When someone reminded them, they realized that there were far fewer onlookers, and Yang Yu was no longer in the courtyard at some point. How? Is their play so bad? After asking, I found out that she had left 2 minutes ago with village chief Lei and his wife. Your daughter-in-law said that since both the stolen goods and the evidence are available, the matter will be handled in accordance with the law. So she is going to call the police. Is this okay? What should I report to the police for household matters or minor disputes? What's the matter with the law? They don't want to cause a scene. So after hearing this, the four members of the Ding family stood up quickly, and together with the Chiao family's mother and daughter, who also paused their action scenes, they ran towards the village chief's house. Prevent. Must be stopped. At the village chief's house, in front of the square table, the village chief, his wife, and Yang Yu were already sitting on three sides. Daughter-in-law. It's hard for an upright official to deal with household matters. Parents are concerned about face, so you can't call the police, Father Ding and Mother Ding begged together. My parents know that you are angry, so they will definitely help you teach Ding Yi a lesson. How can I calm you down? Tell me. Miss Yang, my family didn't educate Chiao well. We apologize to you. Please don't call the police, Mother Chiao also begged. The daughter's reputation has been ruined. If she leaves another stain, not only will she not be able to get married, but her son will also be affected. Chiao's father is already back. He should arrive at midnight. We will give you an explanation then. Or if you have any requests, just tell me. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 88. Pity the hearts of parents in the world. Huang Yakin blinked at Yang Yu and cooperated. Since they have said so, it is better to have less trouble than more trouble. Don't call the police first. If you have any demands, ask them to see if they can compensate you. If you are not satisfied, raise it again. About calling the police. Huang Yakin has seen it, and Yang Yu has only spoken words, without even bending a finger. But the Ding family and the Chiao family are almost torn apart. From the scumbag Chiao to Ding Xia, they were all in tears and bruised. At this moment, they all wanted to kneel down and beg. This little trick is really good. Yes, Mother Ding answered quickly. Daughter-in-law, you said, if you open your mouth, you will break this brat's legs, and I will do it right away without saying a word. Yang Yu, who was sitting on the teacher's chair in the village chief's house, crossed her arms and sneered, breaking his legs, how can you compensate me? But if you are willing to break his third leg, I can reluctantly accept it. Huang Yakin couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing. Are you sure this is from the city? Are you a college student? Why do you speak so harshly? However, it does make sense. You, I swear, I have never done anything wrong to you. Ding Yi said with a bitter look on his face. Stop talking, you have bad breath. Brother Yi. Chiao has endured it for now. She didn't expect that Yang Yu was not only bad, but also so arrogant to Ding Yi. How could she do this? Chiao's eyes turned red and she was about to shed tears. I really didn't expect you to live such a life. Ding Yi also hated it in his heart. This Yang Yu didn't give him any face, and didn't understand the overall situation at all. His reputation and image that he had been operating in Murakami for many years were completely ruined. How arrogant and shameless. She still has the nerve to say that she comes from a scholarly family, but there is really no trace of traditional women's virtues in her. This kind of woman who cannot serve a man should be beaten to death. Beat him until he kneels at the man's feet every day. If it wasn't for money, how could he marry such a woman? Ding Yi felt hatred in his heart and glared at Yang Yu for a second longer. And Yang Yu faced that gaze, and the coldness pouring out of his eyes became even worse. Mother Ding saw the behavior of several people in her eyes, and became angry again. She slapped Chiao, fox. There are so many people here. Do you think we are all dead? You still dare to hook up? So discord. On the other side, Mother Chiao also knew she was wrong and pinched her daughter. Ding Yi subconsciously stretched out his hand to help. But just as he stretched out his hand, he weakly retracted it, making Huang Yakin click her tongue. Yang Yu sat peacefully in his chair, just watching the sideshow. They were very happy to see that she didn't make any more noise and call the police. The door of the village chief's house was also closed, and peace talks began. The Ding family once again began to ask Xiao Xiao to hand over money and gold objects. Didn't you already go through my house? My house doesn't have your money or gold items. I was wrongly accused. Ding Xia snorted, you came back at noon. After half a day, who knows where you hid them? I'm warning you, hand them over quickly. Now, it was Xiao Xiao who clamored to call the police to prove himself. Mother Xiao was angry and covered her daughter's mouth, saying that she would pay for it. Xiao Xiao still wanted to argue, so she asked her mother to slap her, and was temporarily locked up in the back room of Lei's house. The Ding family was so evil that they directly offered a price of 40,000 yuan, 5,000 yuan in red envelopes and 5,000 yuan in gold. There are also 30,000 yuan for the mental loss and compensation caused to the Ding family and Yang Yu by Xiao Xiao seducing Ding Yi and stealing. Naturally, the Xiao family didn't want to be taken advantage of, so the two parties started bargaining. Tao Ran didn't say anything, just watched them grind. The Ding family tried a lot of coercion and inducement, and finally got Xiao's mother to promise 20,000 yuan. Mother Xiao just wanted to end it quickly and trot home to get the money. Mother Ding raised her chin. I lost a few thousand, but I still made back more than 10,000. After all, her hard work was not in vain. After solving the money problem, she quickly pushed her son to Yang Yu. Yu, I really have nothing to do with Xiao Xiao. It's all her wishful thinking. Really? Let's not talk about the two of us here. Ding Yi's whole body ached. He lowered his voice, when I go back, I will promise you everything. Can you please stop making trouble here? Okay. Let's talk about your business and mine when we get back. Tao Ran remained calm. The matter between her and Ding Yi couldn't be resolved in the countryside. The scumbag had to go to his home court. In this rural place, it's okay to catch someone by surprise, but it's definitely not a place for a long-term battle. So Tao Ran turned to look at Ding Xia. Let's take care of our business first. Sister-in-law, what can we do? Ding Xia asked. The package of cosmetics I bought for you yesterday cost a total of 3,964. I took a taxi there and back, and the fare was 37. I didn't have to pay for running errands, eating and other expenses. I'll count you 4,000 in total. Trouble. Give me the money. Oh, sister-in-law. Ding Xia didn't expect that Yang Yu would ask her for money. You asked me to buy those things, right? I bought them for you, should you give me money? Let's talk about this when we get home, right? Yeah, let's talk about it later, don't make others laugh. Mother Ding's face twitched and her brows furrowed, this wife is really not on the stage. Oh, Xiao's family is not around now, so I'll tell you the truth. Ding Xia, I heard that you and Xiao Xiao are good friends, so I asked you to look out for Xiao Xiao. I also guessed that you gave Xiao Xiao the cosmetics. Otherwise, how could you know that you lost so many cosmetics? You arrived at Xiao's house early in the morning and didn't see the cosmetics on the table and the brooch on Xiao Xiao's body? You just helped Ding Yi and Xiao Xiao cuckold me, but you didn't expect to be discovered by me, so you played a double act with Xiao Xiao. You just wanted to hide it from me, right? No, I swear. Okay. I don't want to hear an explanation. Just tell me whether I should give the money or not, right? Do you want that much, are you kidding? 4,000 yuan? Don't worry, there are receipts. Your money will not be overcounted. Sister-in-law, you. What? Didn't you just say that you wanted to let me go as long as I didn't hold you accountable? I have no money. 4,000 yuan? Buy a bunch of cosmetics? Is she crazy? If it weren't for nothing, if these high-priced cosmetics couldn't be resold to the factory boss's wife in town, she wouldn't want these things. Sister-in-law, You also know that my husband and I don't earn much. We only save a few hundred a month. We really have no money. Tao Ran sneered again. Come on. Ding Yi didn't go home during the Chinese New Year, so he sent her 3,000 yuan to ask her to help out and fulfill her filial piety. Who are you trying to fool? I've collected a lot of money today, right? 4,000, you should be able to get it. Ding Xia was already cursing in her heart. Who is this? Are you even thinking about her share of money? As I said before, I have no money, so I borrowed the 4,000 and will pay it back later. Tao Ran stopped paying attention to her. She turned back and asked Huan Yakin, Sister, can I stay at your house tonight? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 89. The village chief and his wife were already stunned. That guy Ding Yi earns so much, are they still trying hard to get money from their wife? How could a sister-in-law be so openly greedy for her sister-in-law's money? If you can't afford the money yourself, you still ask your sister-in-law to buy things for you. Isn't this a clear case of blackmail? It starts from 4,000, which is too dark. Seeing how Ding's father and Ding's mother behaved, it was clear that they knew about this and condoned their daughter's actions. It turns out that this family is not just Ding Yiscom, but a complete garbage heap. Huan Yakin sneered. Yang Yu was really good-tempered. If it were her, she would have taken the stick. Village Chief Lei was thinking that Yang Yu was spending a lot of money buying things for her sister-in-law. She should be earning a lot of money herself, and Ding Yi was earning tens of thousands of dollars a month. These two people were really living a good life. It seems that he really needs to ask Ding Yi to help fund the village. Don't worry Yu, Ding Xia is not that kind of person. On the other side, when Yang Yu said she wanted to live in the village chief's house, Ding's mother became anxious and quickly agreed before Huan Yakin could. You help Ding Xia buy things, so of course you have to give me the money. This little money is nothing. If you give her some coaxing when you get back, the money will come back. Ding Xia, go home and get the money. Don't be embarrassed. Wait. I'm not done yet, Yang Yu spoke again. Ding Xia, did you also repay the 20,000 yuan you borrowed from my family the year before last? When did I lend you 20,000 yuan? It's the 20,000 yuan that you and your brother secretly took. What do you mean by secretly taking it? It's borrowing. Ding Yi looked ugly. Yang Yu, you are making trouble unreasonably. What? You borrowed that money without my permission, and you don't let me take it back. Is that money yours? That's shared by husband and wife. Do you want face? Or do you have a bad memory? My parents came out with that money. Does it have anything to do with you? During that time, Ding's mother had been helping to take care of her in Beijing, and the Yang family's parents took 20,000 yuan as a thank you. But Ding's mother refused to accept it and return the money. So the money stayed in Ding Yi's hands. Then one day, Yang Yu saw a text message on Ding Yi's cell phone, which was sent by Ding Xia to thank him. After asking, I found out that Ding Yi lent 20,000 yuan to Ding Xia, saying that Ding Xia was getting married soon and was short of money, so she needed to make some money first. Yang Yu always cared about Ding Yi's face and immediately didn't ask any more questions. She thought at the time that the money was originally to thank the Ding family for helping the Yang family during that period. How could they arrange the money? It was better to just let them do it. So in the past 2 years, Yang Yu has never asked about the money. But how could Tao Ran agree? There is no good thing in this family. Why should they be allowed to take advantage of so much? Now that she is here, she can naturally ask for as much as she can. 2 years ago, Ding Xia's conditions were not good. But now her life is better and she can pay back the money. Ding Xia's life is still difficult. Ding Yi, don't be ridiculous. The cosmetics Ding Xia asked me to buy for my face were hundreds of sets of big-name cosmetics. Yang Yu turned her body towards Huang Yakin. Sister, what is the price of the cosmetics you use? What cosmetics? Sister, just use some Dabao on your face. Can't we say that on TV? If you want good skin, use Dabao sooner or later. We all use this. Ding Xia, don't use such good ones. I look at your face, and your skin is no better than mine. From now on, I'll just use the 8 yuan bottle. Ding Xia was about to choke to death, but there was no way for her to explain. Huang Yakin's sarcasm had just faded when Yang Yu continued. So, Ding Xia's living standard is already the same as mine. What's the difficulty? Also, my family only held one banquet when Xia Rui was 1 month old. A total of 30 people were invited. But Ding Xia and her husband it's strong. After today, we will do it tomorrow, and it will take 2 days. Dozens of tables will be held in one place. Calculated, there will be almost 100 tables in 2 days, right? The pomp and circumstance today was so grand that I was shocked. All the acquaintances from several villages around here are here, right? This scale is so powerful. So let me say that Ding Xia just keeps a low profile on weekdays and is better than me anyway. With such financial capacity, there is no reason why he should not pay back the money he owes. Right? Huang Yakin laughed along. After listening to Yang Yu's strange words, she finally understood. She dared to host a banquet for Ding's family and expect Yang Yu and the others to pay for it, right? Yang Yu, what you said is true. To be able to afford more than 100 tables for a double full moon event, Murakami is indeed unique. Everyone is impressed by this. Ding Xia is really up to date. Several members of the Ding family looked at each other and opened their mouths, not knowing how to answer. The purpose of hosting the wine was to support the scene of Lao Ding's family and to increase his ambition. The full moon wine was just a pretext, so Ding Yi agreed to pay the money. But Ding Yi has not yet decided whether to take the money from his and Yang Yu's savings, or to pretend to be poor and ask for some money from his father-in-law and mother-in-law. However, before leaving, my father-in-law said something, not to ask for anything after returning home, and to use the money as it is needed. If you don't have enough, you can take it from him. It was with this promise that the banquet was a bit extravagant this time. But what did he say? Now he can't say that the money for Ding Xia's banquet has nothing to do with Ding Xia and his wife, and it is up to him, because he has already calculated the money of Yang Yu and Yang's father. If Yang Yu, who was furious, knew that the money was ultimately paid for by her, she would have to be reluctant to let him go, right? What do you say? The Ding family, who instinctively didn't want Ding Xia to pay back the 20,000 yuan, was in a dilemma. Mother Ding's mind was spinning fast. Her daughter would definitely cry for help. Her son had already angered Yang Yu, so he couldn't get involved. So she had to step forward on her own. She spoke earnestly and thoughtfully, "You, Xioxia, and the others are really having a hard time. In fact, the money for the banquet was subsidized by my mother." Ah! Tao Ran's eyes lit up and he interrupted directly, "You? Did you pay for Ding Xia's banquet? So you are so rich? If the banquet is 500 tables, and 50 tables is 25,000, plus tobacco and alcohol, at least 10,000 yuan, right? You took the money as you asked, so it shows that the family has a lot of savings. But Ding Yi always said that the family was poor and had no money to even renovate the house, so before the wedding, my family gave you 200,000 yuan to renovate the house. So, you lied to me before, right?" Tao Ran was about to die laughing, but he pretended not to see Ding's mother waving her hands repeatedly to signal her to shut up, and then told her all the bad things about the Ding family like she was pouring the beans on her. Damn old woman, you have told too many lies in the past. The loopholes in this family are like a sieve, and there is no way to plug them. The Ding family was stunned. No one thought that Yang Yu would get involved with the 200,000 without any warning. That was 4 years ago. No one, whether it was Yang Yu or his in-laws, mentioned that matter. They had almost forgotten the source of the money. Moreover, the 200,000 yuan came out of the blue. They gave away all their sons. Isn't this money just compensation? Yang Yu was not honest. If he brought it up now, he would be sure that they would have no shame in asking the village chief to marry his son into marriage. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 90. Yang Yu's family gave the Ding family 200,000 yuan to build a house. On the other side, the village chief's family, who were busy eating melons, were stunned. They don't know anything about these things. The Ding family still accepts it? Oh my God, the village chief's daughter, who had been watching the fun, couldn't help it anymore and threw away the melon seeds. Didn't you say that the money used to build the house for Lao Ding's family came from Ding Yi's loan? Who is lying? You can tell who is lying just by looking at their expression. It's clear at a glance. The Ding family members were already in a hurry. They could not clarify to the village chief's family that they did not take the money, otherwise Yang Yu would definitely become violent. But that means they lied to the villagers before. Facing Yang Yu, they didn't know what to do. Why are there more and more lies that are meant to be told? Yang Yu was still sneering. You old Ding family are not honest. You have money to hold banquets but no money to build a house? Or is it that you blackmailed my Yang family for the 200,000 yuan? If so, please pay back the 200,000 yuan. No, it's nothing. Ding's mother wanted to die, and even Ding's father stared at her with venomous eyes, wishing to tear her mouth apart. Daughter-in-law, I made a mistake. You heard it wrong. Mom said, subsidy. Mom plans to subsidize Xioxia with some banquet money. Mom only plans to subsidize her 5,000. How can Mom have money? The Ding family owes it to you and Xiao Yi. It has only been a few years since things got better. We only have so little land at home, how much harvest can we get? And in the past 2 years when I have been in the city to take care of you, even the land at home has been left unused. We have no money, we really have no money, everyone knows this. It's still wrong. When I mentioned the 200,000, I just remembered one thing. I have to mention it one after another, watch her pull them all out. During the luncheon, someone was asking about the renovation project of Lao Ding's house. I heard that with the building like that, it only costs up to 100,000 yuan. But Ding Yi, why did you ask for 200,000 yuan from my family? You Ding family members clearly joined forces to defraud my family. Oh. If that's the case, there's nothing we can do about it. It's all nonsense, you, don't listen to it. Don't you know how our Lao Ding family treats you? Tao Ran looked at village chief Lei. Village chief, what are the labor and material prices in the village? You must know what to renovate. Do you think the 2-story building of Ding's house cost approximately how much it cost? Yang Yu, Father Ding just wanted to find a place to drill. If I continue to ask questions, the whole family will be embarrassed. Didn't you see the village chief and his family looking at them as if they were looking at garbage? Even the daughter of the Lei family sneered and threw a handful of melon seed shells at his feet. Talking about the cost of the house now will only make their family more embarrassed. His house was renovated by village chief Lei. Lao Lei knew exactly how much money was spent. Because I heard that the renovation of his house was a loan from Ding Yi, Lao Lei also waived a lot of money, which was regarded as a subsidy from the village, so the final cost was only more than 70,000 yuan. This matter needs to be known to Yang Yu. Yang Yu looks stupid at first glance. He can cover it up with 10,000 or 20,000, and he can still pretend to be ignorant if it is not revealed. But the money comes and goes too much. If he really tells the truth. Ding's father quickly interrupted Yang Yu's question to the village chief and said, first, Yang Yu, when the house was renovated, there were indeed tens of thousands more yuan. We all saved it? In the future, it will still be you and Ding Yi, yes. This matter is over, so don't ask any more. Tao Ran smiled softly. Just kidding. If I hadn't asked, I wouldn't have known about this at all. Then how could this money be saved for us? The Ding family members laughed. Tao Ran, but since you said this money is for Ding Yi and I, why not give it to us now? After all, my parents used this money to build a house for the Ding family. Now that the house has been built, the extra, of course, the money must be returned to them. Otherwise, it will be easy for outsiders to misunderstand you and Ding Yi, and why you deliberately deceived my parents. Isn't that right? The Ding family members gritted their teeth. They would not take out this money even if they were beaten to death. Ken. Tao Ran glanced at Village Chief Lei. Village Chief Lei understood, frowned, and said earnestly, Old Ding, if this money is really what Yang Yu said, it was taken out by her parents, there is really no reason for the Ding family to keep it. Give it back to others. After all, it is not a small amount of money. The village chief thought about the face, but did not tell the specific amount. Huang Yakin was so disgusted with Ding Yi that she felt like vomiting. Scumbag. The books went into the dog's belly. He lied to his wife, his family, his village, and even cheated on him. This kind of man would have to be castrated and thrown into the garbage to be fed to dogs. That is. Huang Yakin, Yang Yu just made a fuss about calling the police. The addition of several incidents today is no joke. Ding Yi, not only are you suspected of cheating, the woman who stole your wife is also the object of your suspected cheating, and you also committed fraud. The suspicion of your wife's family, these three things combined, who do you want not to think too much? You read a lot, you should know that if this matter is really pursued, it is not a joke. Fraud, you will go to jail. Daughter of the Lei family, bah. I never thought there would be such a scum in a society ruled by law. Never say that you are a college student again. If my brother is such a college student in the future, I will definitely skin him with my own hands. And you, I support you. My uncle works in the town court. If you have any legal questions, just ask him. The Ding family was greedy for money, so Tao Ran also knew that it would be difficult to get them to take out the money they had put in their pockets. So her main purpose is to stir up conflicts, stir up trouble, and make this family feel disgusted. Anyway, the goal was achieved. Finally, several members of the Ding family gathered together and winked. They were really a little scared. The daughter-in-law refuses to go home. What if the village chief's family is incited and wants to call the police? So no matter what, the top priority is to coax the wife back first. What Father Ding meant was that no matter what Yang Yu asked for, he would agree to it first, and when everyone went back, everyone would apologize to her, and this matter would eventually be over. After several people discussed it, Ding's mother started to cry and runny nose again, saying that although there was such a sum of money, in fact, most of the money was gone. What does she, a woman, know when her son is not around? The year she built the house, she bought furniture for Yang Yu in the town, but was defrauded of 50,000 yuan. She didn't say anything because she was afraid of embarrassment. Father Ding responded repeatedly, saying that he beat the old woman severely that time. Ding Yi also lowered his head and said that his mother was seriously ill because of this and could not get out of bed for a long time. Ding Xia nodded busy and said she could testify. Tao Ran sneered twice, he expected it, so this money is hard to come by. If there is no proof, they can say whatever they want. Ha! After all, is it for Yang Yu? Mother Ding quickly said that they later went to the capital to take care of the Yang family and spent more than 20,000 yuan, so now only 30,000 yuan was left. Every penny is money. Tao Ran continued to ask. Mother Ding did not expect her to be so reluctant, and said that the money, 10,000 yuan, had been saved until death and would not be available until next year. Another 20,000 yuan was lent to relatives, and I don't know when I will get it back. Then write me an IOU.